So now we have our penultimate competitor, Catja Fardig.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to welcome you to my presentation. My name is Catja Fardig, and I'm from Travel Education Center in Stockholm, Sweden, and I'm also one of the future leaders of this industry. So I'm going to present to you tonight an alternative method of how to plan a meeting, which we would like to call the inner conference. Sorry, okay. So, the inner conference conferences has been for a very long time an exchange of knowledge. We're producing meetings to learn things, right? But this has been a very strong driving force for us to get the right content and find the right speakers, and that has been one of the main things we concentrated on when we're planning meetings. But I would say that the concept of learning has changed a bit. Learning is not today about a part of the teaching, it's about the activity of the learners, right? So that's why I think we all quite often get this is what you get as a response from conferences from the delegates, that the true experience often happens outside the schedule. Because this is where we network, this is where we meet each other, this is where we actually discuss the real issues, the real questions that we're interested in. This is where we find the people that we're interested in, and this is where we actually question and discuss concepts and ideas around the business that we're actually there to concentrate on. So, I don't know if you could agree with me on this statement, but I could surely say that for the few conferences I've been at, I could feel like sometimes you get out of session and you always have more questions, or you have a few more questions than you actually have when you were going in, because you almost try to find new ways of solving this. And I also know that it's not only me thinking this, because the MPI report has also shown that participants would like to start controlling their own experiences, because they are all adults, right? And they know what they want to get out of the conference. So it has been very important that we're starting to add more value to the meetings than we've done before. It's not only about actually going to a conference, listening to a speaker. You want to add more value to this and use all the different tools that are available nowadays to do this. So this is a short background of the inner conference, and I want to give you a short background as well about me as a student. And because this all comes from when I was in high school. My high school is a bit different. We challenged the normal classroom formats every single day, and it was quite rough to always try to question your own learning. But we were asked to not ask what a school was, but what a school actually could be. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, something I want to bring into this industry, that we should not get stuck into what a conference is, but what it could be and what we can make out of it. And this is something I think that we should do every day. So the concept is to provide inner conference participants with a personalized and in-depth experience. This will be possible when we make the conference as long as it goes. So we find the topics, we find the questions, and we find the answers along the way of the conference without a fixed schedule. And by being perceptive and attentive and collecting the analyze from the participants and analyzing this, we could create sessions throughout the inner conference. So in practice, this means that when a discussion or issue occurs along the conference, we're going to use that to actually create the next step. This format then offers sessions that truly engage the participants, because they are actually passionate about the topics and sessions and the questions that are discussed, and we're given unique experience. And if there's 1,000 people at the conference, I could tell you that there's probably more than 1,000 different ideas, solutions, and different dreams and objectives of going to a conference. And therefore I think it's very important that we use all of this and make it possibilities. And then in practice, if the process would be very much like working with an agile method that you discover and you design the sessions, and by the feedback you get, you kind of move on, going along with the different, making the conference from the actual feedback. So you would kind of welcome your participants, give them some information about what the format is to be about, and when you get down to the actual sessions being presented, you go back and you kind of move as in an agile project method. So, the planning, you gain knowledge from your participants by using maybe an app that you create, live discussions or social media. You filter this, and I hope that we could be able to develop software which you could use to actually make this easier for the team, which is going to then use all of this information, finding the right speakers, putting together sessions, putting the right people into the room, and actually get this unique in-conference experience. So there could be lots of different session formats. It's not a fixed conference, as I said. It could be everything from a campfire session to a panel discussion or a learning cafe. And the speakers could be online, they could be brought in, or they could be maybe someone who's actually at the conference who have experience from the topic that's being brought up. So, the inner conference has many different advantages, and I think that, to me, the main advantage is that it gives the participants the best experience that they could get out of the meeting, and we add value to it, which is one of the things that we could see is really going to be important. And I could tell you, as we want to, or I think it's very important that we dare to challenge yourself within this industry and dare to take it to the next step. As I said, with my high school, I really want us to stay in the question. So thank you very much for listening, all of you, and I hope that you're going to enjoy the last presentation.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good presentation. I have a question. Interdisciplinary team, is that from InO Conference, or is that the external client? Who collates all that information?
I guess the team has to be at least multifunctional. It has to be different person with different kind of perspectives on what you actually want to get out of the conference. So I would say it's a different or a mix between what you're telling, or I would see it that way. And of course, I mean, as I said, the conference is about a changing concept. So I would also suggest that you always discuss this. And as I said, it's important to stay in the question. So part of the answer is always to actually question the thing. But I always see it as like different disciplines bringing someone who's really good at social media, and as I said, with the software which could filter keywords together with the client, finding out what would be the most suitable for the participants, where they would learn the most. Yeah.
So can I just ask, as a sort of business model, do you foresee that it would be a case of maybe setting up an agency of people that could facilitate these types of events, and therefore that's the service that's being sold to the end client, is we will manage your event in a different way?
Yeah, I think that's how I would like to work with it. Yes. Then of course I hope and I would like it to be. As you might could tell from my cheeks, I'm very passionate about the subject, and I want it to be something that could actually change the industry. So even if it would be something that I would like to develop as a company, or as you're saying, as a service, you're actually giving to someone.
Yeah.
I could also say that I would love it to be usable to other agencies and other clients who could maybe not use all the internal information, but gain something from it and do their own setting from it. Yeah, sure.
I've got another question. Who do you view as your end target market for this product? Who's your end market, your target market for this product?
I think I have to say I put it as an alternative method, which is because I don't think you could change all the conferences into this format. I would like it to raise the thought, like within all the industries, but I think that the most suitable end client would be within technology or IT, or maybe also within learning and knowledge areas and different educational areas. I don't think it's suitable for maybe all kind of conferences, but yeah, as I said, I think it's a good thing to stay in the question and to work with the concept of actually changing how we're thinking about meetings today.
Thank you. So please thank again, Catja.